Ready to break up with your bullshit? I mean, all those excuses that are keeping you stuck. Because you have one life to live. And if you're not having fun yet, then that's a problem, dude. Welcome to Goals, Grit, and some woo-woo shit. The podcast where you learn about the habits of kicking ass at life. Whether you want to get ripped, get rich, or just get high on life, this is the place to be. Here's your host, best-selling author and feel-good expert, Una Duncan.
Hey, thanks for listening to the show. I'm your host, Una Duncan, and oh, my friend, do I have a treat for you today. I'm going to teach you how to access infinite intelligence in order to make all of your healthy living aspirations come true. Who promises that? I do, because I'm going to show you how to use free AI to get a customized workout and meal plan, and then I'm going to teach you how to do something that's even better. But I feel like I should say right off the bat that AI is not my area of expertise. I know, shocker. You're saying to yourself, but Una, I always go to fitness professionals with drama degrees for my deep technology insights. I get it. I know. But I personally am actually a really slow and reluctant technology adapter. I swear to you right now, I would still be playing cassette tapes on a Fisher-Price boombox if the world didn't get all up in my face with CDs and then iPods. I mean, if you are anything younger than Gen X, you might not know this, but some of us have had to buy the same music on record, cassette, CD, and then iTunes. Which means that I have probably spent about $100 on buying Tainted Love by Soft Cell, but I actually think that's money well spent, especially the longer version. And all that to say that I'm usually the last person to come at you with some new technology that's supposed to get you fit. Wearable fitness trackers being kind of an exception because they can track your actions, which is something that you can actually control. So you can look at the data and you can do something about it. But like all of this constant glucose monitoring for weight loss for non-diabetics, DNA testing that promises to deliver individualized advice based on your DNA, scales that claim to be able to tell your body fat percentage, guys, they don't really work, magic plates that calculate the calories in your meal and upload that information to a tracker that gives you advice, breathalyzers that claim to hack your metabolism, 99.99999% of the time, all of this is gimmicky bullshit, and it is distracting you from just buckling down and doing your healthy habits like a grown-ass adult. So I really am the last person you would think would be leading a podcast episode about how AI can help you achieve your health and fitness goals. But dude, Chat GPT. If you haven't played around with this yet, do it now. Google it, or I'll put the link in the show notes. You have to sign up, but it's totally free. And when you do sign up, you can ask it stuff like, design a workout program for me. I am a 50-year-old woman with an old shoulder injury, sore wrists, and patellofemoral syndrome in my knees. I'm very fit, and my goal is fat loss and managing the symptoms of menopause. Okay, you type that in, and when you do that, it will spit out something that's pretty good. Like in this case, it told me to warm up for 5 to 10 minutes, do 30 to 40 minutes resistance training, and then it gave me a list of exercises, and it told me to do like 20 to 30 minutes cardio and cool down for 5 to 10 minutes, and it gave me a list of stretches. Okay, but like that's pretty surface, right? It did give me some mobility exercises for my wrist, but it didn't mention anything about the knees. So here's the beauty. The beauty of Chat GPT is that it's a conversation. So I went back to it and I said, adjust my program, but I only want to work out 5 days a week. I have 30 minutes each time. And for 2 of those days, I will be training for a marathon. So then it spat out an adjusted program that built in my marathon training and my time limitations. Okay. So then once you have the broad outline, then you can get more granular. So in this program, it told me to do full body resistance training on Monday with a mix of exercises focusing on shoulder and wrist mobility. So it's great. It took that into account, right? So then I ask it, expand on that. And it wrote out exactly which exercises to do and how to do them. And then I can write back and say, oh, this exercise will hurt my knees. What can I do instead? And then it gives me a list of knee-friendly alternatives. Right? And by the way, this pattern of going from broad to granular It can work in so many different areas. Like, I know people who are writing whole books and courses with Chat GPT. So just to give you an example of that, just for fun, I said, write an outline for a course based on Una Duncan's book, Healthy as Fuck. And dude, it immediately spat out this like awesome course outline. And then I come back and I say, expand on module 1. And then I came back and said, write a video script for module 1, lesson 1. What? Now, I should say the script that it spat out is not one that I would like use word for word. And I am definitely not suggesting that you like go and slap your name on some AI written book. I'm also not saying that you should take the fitness advice from Chat GPT as like absolute gospel. What I am saying is that it will give you a pretty damn good first draft of whatever it is you were trying to figure out. So even if your goals are not fitness or health related right now, if you're trying to write a book, make a budget, come up with a marketing plan. I even did this the other day. I said, give me 3 awesome date night ideas to do on Salt Spring Island, BC that cost no money. Right? And it said, stargazing. Salt Spring Island is famous for its lack of light pollution. And it said hiking. Here are some great hikes. And the last one was a beach bonfire. So I came back and I said, are beach fires allowed right now? And what is the most romantic beach that will have sunset at this time of year? And it came back with, yes, there is no fire ban on Salt Spring. And here are the most romantic beaches. And this is the time you need to be there for sunset. Do you see why I'm so excited about this? Okay, so let me give you another example of how you can use Chat GPT for your health goals. Nutrition. So again, you start big with something like, what is a good nutrition plan for a 40-year-old male who is 6 feet tall, 200 pounds, and wants to lose weight? He is sedentary except for playing hockey on weekends, and he wants to keep his 1 20-ounce beer every night. Okay? Does anybody know anyone like that? I do. So then it comes up with some very sensible general advice about eating a balanced diet and watching the alcohol and consulting a dietitian, which is really good. But then you can get more granular by asking for suggested calorie and macro targets for this person, considering his lifestyle and considering his goals. And then you can ask for a suggested weekly meal plan. Oh, but tell it to make it kid-friendly because he doesn't want to make 2 meals. And it did. You know, it popped up the pretty damn good weekly meal plan with, you know, smoothie bowls and turkey chili, but also some grilled cheese and tomato soup lunches, you know. And you can go back and forth and refine it. You can say, make it vegetarian, use only 1-pot meals so I don't have to clean up. And are you ready for this? Then you can ask Chat GPT to take that meal plan and write out step-by-step instructions on how to prepare the meals in advance on the Sunday before. And it will do that to the degree of saying things like, while the main dishes are cooking, chop the almonds, slice the cheese, and wash the berries. Like, it's awesome. Okay, I know that some of you, like maybe if you happen to be employed by Fit Feels Good Inc., might be thinking like, whoa, did you just blow up your business? Like, isn't this what you do for people? No, this is part of what we do for people. We totally give them meal plans and workout plans. But the thing is that all of that is just information. And my friend, you have never had a shortage of health and wellness information. Like, way before ChatGPT, you have had access to a zillion different healthy meal plans and recipes. You probably right now have 10 healthy cookbooks in your kitchen right now, and you are also a Google away from more free workouts and training programs on YouTube than you could ever do in your lifetime. ChatGPT is just like a better way to get more specific information, and that is awesome. But it's still just information. Information is not going to get you fit. Execution will. And for that, you need to consciously create new habit loops. You need to manage your mindset. You need peer support and accountability. And to my knowledge, no AI can do that for you yet. It's like I say in my book, you know, everyone's going around being like, what's the secret to lasting weight loss? And I'm like, eat your vegetables. get some sleep. Don't drink so much booze. And they're like, no, like the real secret. Like, what are you holding out on me here? And I'm like, no, the real secret is you actually doing those things consistently. What to do is really not the barrier that most people think it is. How to make themselves do it usually is. And this, my friend, is where we shift from the wonders of artificial intelligence to the exponentially greater wonders of your actual intelligence. And figuring out the answers to the real questions like, why do I drink every night when every morning I say I'm going to take a night off? I'm telling you right now, if you've been stuck in your fitness, it's probably not for lack of a meal plan with specific macros. It's probably more for a lack of you being able to stick with your own intentions, whatever they are. And for that, you need to ask yourself questions. And here's the deal. For this to work, they gotta be good questions, dude. Just like with Chat GPT, the quality and the usefulness of the answer you get depends on the quality of the question. Most people are going around and they're asking themselves questions all the time, but they're super crappy questions. They're like running through their head all day is questions like, why can't I lose weight? What's wrong with me? Why is my wife being such a grump today? Why am I so depressed? How come I'm not further ahead in life by now? The reason these are shitty questions is because your amazing brain is going to answer them. And if you ask it, why can't I lose weight? It's going to come up with an answer. It's going to tell you things like, well, because you're old, you're lazy, it's your genetics. And then the worst part is you are going to believe that answer because it came from your brain. What if instead you asked it something like, what is a healthy action I can take every day that will make me feel good and lead me to my goals? Wouldn't you prefer to have an answer to that question? That is a way better question. Now, I first found out about this concept from Tony Robbins, who says the quality of your life depends on the quality of the questions you ask yourself. And he believes that we all have one primary question, a question that we go around asking ourselves all the time. And that question can either make you freaking miserable or it can make you really happy. His question used to be, how can I make this better? Which sounds like a good question, except that it presupposes that everything needs fixing, which is kind of a stressful way to live your life. Like if you had the primary question of how can I make this better going through your mind all the time, you would, for example, you'd be on a beautiful date night and you'd spend the whole time like adjusting the lighting or fussing that the wine doesn't quite match the beef bourguignon or whatever, trying to make it better. Once Tony realized that that was the primary question going through his mind all the time, he consciously changed it to something like, I can't remember his exact question, but it's something like, how can I enjoy this moment even more? Now, dude, that makes for an enjoyable date night and like life. Even Albert Einstein is quoted as saying something to the effect of, if I had an hour to solve a problem and my life depended on it, I would spend the first 55 minutes determining the proper question to ask. For once I know the proper question, I could solve the problem in less than 5 minutes. So in episode 1 of this podcast, I told you that when I coach my damn self, I will often write a play, an exchange between whiny Una and wise Una. Well, let me tell you something. If I get quiet, if I log out of Chat GPT or whatever I'm distracting myself with, thinking that it has answers, and if I instead go inside and I ask the right question, wise Una always has the answers. And that is not because wise Una is any smarter than wise you, lovely listener. Or another example, I have a friend who's Christian, and he says that if he prays and he asks God for an answer, he will always get one. And if he doesn't, he knows it's because he's asked the wrong question. He asks a better question, he says he gets an immediate download. What I'm trying to say is that no one, not even AI with its database of theoretically all of human knowledge, can access that ultimate truth and wisdom about you except for you. You armed with the right questions. So here are some examples of quality questions. Let's say you're struggling with your healthy habits. You might ask yourself, how can I enjoy myself and my body even more while doing my healthy habits? Or you might ask yourself, how can I make this even more fun? Let's say you've got a situation in your life that is not going well. You could ask yourself questions like, what can I do, however small, to gain some level of control over this situation? Or maybe you ask yourself, what would my best self do in this situation right now? Maybe at the end of the day, you ask yourself, in what ways can I be proud of myself today? I've already told you this one. When I feel stuck in an area of my life, to get myself out of victim mentality and towards more of a hero mentality, I will ask myself, what is the challenge that I am not facing right now? If something happened that you don't like, maybe you say, what can I learn from this outcome? What skills do I need to make sure that this doesn't happen again next time? And maybe in the morning, you ask yourself, what could I do to make this day even more awesome? So those are just some examples of great, good quality questions. Unlike low quality questions like, what's wrong with me? How can I heal myself? Because again, it sounds good, but it's presupposing that there's always something wrong with you. Okay? You want good quality questions. Okay, so to sum up, first of all, go play around with Chat GPT. The link again is in the show notes. And like I said, it's free and you can use it to play around with workout programs, nutrition plans, meal prep schedules, so many fun things. Secondly, understand that while Chat GPT is amazing and it is a better source of information than anything that I've ever seen, it's not perfect and it's not going to solve all your problems by giving you more information. Most of the time, we don't need more information. We know what we need to do. We just don't know how to make ourselves do it. And if that's you, you have to look inside and you have to ask yourself some questions. Thirdly, when you do that, make sure you are asking yourself good quality questions because your amazing brain, which is better than anything Chat GPT can do, is going to come up with answers. So if you are going around asking shit like, why does this always happen to me? Your brain is going to find a reason why this always happens to you. And it's not going to be a great belief to cultivate about yourself. Instead, ask your brain quality questions. Stuff like, how can I savor the fact that I am a freaking goddess of health and hotness? Now that is a question that will change the quality of your life. Okay, dude, I hope this resonated with you. I would love to hear some of your questions. What do you go around asking yourself all day? Does it make you feel good? Also, if you've played around with Chat GPT and you've figured out any other health hacks that I haven't mentioned on the show, please let me know. DM me on Instagram or send me an email. All the links are in the show notes. Until then, talk to you next week. Hey dude, thanks for listening. If you like this episode, make sure you're subscribed so you can get the next one. And by the way, if you rate and review this podcast, it really helps me get found by other people who need some goals, grit, and some woo-woo shit. And be sure to connect and DM me at Una Duncan on Instagram and let me know what you thought of the episode. Chat soon.